Our first story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my stepdaughter to go ask her real dad when she asked me to pay for her plane tickets? I married my wife at least 12 years ago. She has a 16-year-old daughter, Anna, from her previous relationship, and we have a 7-year-old son as well. From pretty much the beginning of our relationship, Anna and I have never gotten along. I don't know how to emphasize that it is not because of a lack of trying. She just does not like me. When she was young, she was just scared of me and afraid I'd tear their family apart. Nowadays, it's more of a neutral dislike rather than the strong antipathy, so I suppose that's progress. Elise is a stay-at-home mother, so she relies on me for income. As a result, I pay for everything for Anna. Food, clothes, volleyball fees, field trips. I take an interest in her hobbies. I go to her games. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I try my damn hardest to be the stepfather I can. But it's so hard. Always giving me curt one-word responses. Always having to have an attitude. She does things to get a rise out of me. Staying out late reeking of booze. Always trying to sneak boys in. Typical rebellious stuff. But I always let her know I love her, and I'm there for her in hopes of her craphead teenager phase passes. The opposite is true for her biological father. She adores him. Can't tell you why. He never goes to her games, always makes excuses for why he doesn't want to see her. He forgot her birthday last month and she cried herself to sleep. Well, anyways, Friday, I came to her room to check her phone and read her messages. Not a permanent thing, but she's been caught sneaking out twice in the last month, so this is her punishment. I asked for the phone. She says, "No, I'm tired of you checking my stuff. Leave me alone." I tell her I'm not asking again, and she goes, "Just F off already. You're not my real dad. You never have been. Stop acting like you can tell me what to do," before getting up and slamming the door. Like I said, guys, I'm tired. Tired of the blatant disrespect. Of being the verbal punching bag while still providing more for her than anyone else in her family. We haven't really talked since until this morning during breakfast. She asked if I could pay for her plane tickets so she could see her boyfriend cross-state. Like I said, her mom doesn't work and her dad is a piece of crap, so I normally would be the one to cough up the money. Not this time. I responded, "Go ask your real dad." I could tell she was hurt. Tears welled up from her face and she excused herself from the table. My wife took me aside later and said my comment was extremely disrespectful. I said if anything's disrespectful, it's her treating me like a doormat and a credit card, and I will no longer tolerate this treatment in my house. I told her we don't have to be friends, but if she can't, at least be cordial to me or respect my position as an authority figure. She can find someone else to pay for her non-essentials. Am I the a-hole? And to add more context, my wife is a saint. She does stick up for me when Anna says something rude or snarky. She just said stooping to her level was inappropriate. But she's a wonderful mom and tries her best. And now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but you barely mentioned your wife, her mother. Why is she not handling this with her daughter? You've been in her daughter's life since she was 4, as stepdad, and your wife has continued to let this fester? She's continued to let her daughter disrespect you and continued to mislead her daughter about her father's true character. This is all kinds of wrong. She's tried, but to be honest, she's not great at this type of stuff. She's a wonderful mom, but tends to just excuse the rebellious behavior with a "she'll grow out of it." And like I said, Anna has been making progress. I think it's less she's not good at it, and more that she bought into the myth that never being honest about a divorced spouse's true character somehow protects the child. Anna was allowed to continue with an unrealistic and incorrect image of her father. This just delayed reality for her to an age where she's ruled by emotions and hormones. Your wife is doing you both an injustice and needs to play a larger role here. She can't criticize you when she's not doing her part. She can't opt out of disciplining or teaching or guiding her child. That is the foundation of being a good mom. There's a difference in being neutral and letting a child have false hope. You're absolutely right about that. I'm not condoning negativity, but delaying the truth isn't always the best idea. This is our approach. We don't give her false hope that he will change, but we're not going to tell her directly that her father is a deadbeat. She'll figure that out on her own. Not the a-hole. Maybe your daughter can have a first-hand look at how much words can hurt. I think you should go to her, apologize. Never mind the fact she doesn't deserve it. You're the adult, be the bigger person, and set firm, fair, and strict rules about behavior going forward. Tell her what you told us, that you don't have to be friends, but you need her to respect your authority and at least be cordial to each other. Maybe ask her why she doesn't like you. Ask if there's anything you can do to support her better. And most importantly, remind her that you love her and will be there for her. Teenage girls are hard, man. Keep trying. A decade from now, she'll be grateful that you chose the high road. Thank you for this comment. I'm praying this is the case. God bless. Everyone sucks here. She's a bratty teenager, not you. Also, please for the love of God don't look through your teens' phones. That's not going to help crap. They're just going to get better and better at hiding things from you. We only did it as punishment. She snuck out twice. The first time we said, if you keep doing this type of behavior, we'll take your phone and make sure you won't again. After a week, we resolved to just read through her phone every now and again rather than take it indefinitely. Thank you for your judgment. That's the end of the first story. The next one is titled, Am I the a-hole for giving my mom a fake number when she asked for my job's contact info? I'll give some backstory first. My 18 female, mother 50 female is extremely clingy. I have no idea why, but she's always done this. I've always been the most independent out of all my siblings, and therefore she is always trying to be in my business. I understand that she is my mother, and I love that she cares about me, but there are times when I must draw the line. At my last job, she would demand I text her whenever I get to work and whenever I leave, which was extremely doable. However, sometimes I'd arrive a bit later than I wanted and would have to immediately begin to work. I wouldn't be able to text her and she would flip out every time, calling my phone 20 to 30 times and calling my siblings and father asking where I was. She began to call my work phone, which was extremely embarrassing for me because sometimes my boss would answer. Once, when I was driving to work, my phone wasn't plugged into my Bluetooth, and so I couldn't text or answer calls. She then called my boss's personal phone number, which I still have no clue how she got, and asked him about me. I was furious and told her if she'd just been patient for 5 minutes, I would have answered, and she didn't get it. I'm always a perfect child and do everything she says, / never get into any trouble, so I don't know what the obsession is about. The worst thing she did was call my boss's personal phone during the pandemic and tell him I couldn't come in because it was dangerous. I had to find out about this by getting my weekly schedule and thinking I was fired because I had no shifts. I had to learn from my boss, who was super nice about it, why I was off the schedule because my mom hadn't told me. It was the most embarrassing moment I've ever felt, and she didn't understand why I was pissed at her for it. With my new job, I've tried to set boundaries. I told her my job has her emergency contact and that I would text her when I arrive and left. She asked for my boss's name and the store address, which is fine, and then asked for his personal. I gave her a fake number. I told my sister about this and she told me I was being petty and wrong, but I don't think she understands what it's like to have none of your privacy respected. My mother even begged that she drive me to work on my first day while she waited in the car as if I'm a child. Her behavior is making me hate being around her, as well as refrain from telling her anything about my personal life. So am I the a-hole for giving my mom a fake number so she doesn't embarrass me at work? Now let's read the top comments. Not the a-hole. And I'm not being flippant when I say that there's something very wrong with your mother. This is not normal mom behavior. This is pathological. It's starting to amaze me how many people think my mom is absolutely nuts. I honestly just thought everyone's mom was this controlling. I'm starting to rethink that. Nah man, I have some friends who has their moms keep trackers on their phones, but none are crazy enough to freaking call their boss personal phones. That will severely damage your career down the line. Best to sort that out now because what the hell. I'm very glad my mom isn't technologically savvy enough to get a tracker. I always assumed it was a foreign mom thing, but from the looks of this thread, it's a crazy mom thing. Starting now, I'm going to try to limit her from always being on my case. Not the a-hole. Your mother is not healthy and is actively harming your careers. Also, if she keeps this up, it is possible you may have to break off contact completely just to keep your sanity. I'm leaning towards that already. I love her, but her behavior is debilitating. I can't even hang with friends without her constant texting / calling. I say this in the most loving way possible. Get out as soon as you can and put your mother on an info diet. She is obsessing over you and your activities and trying to control what she can. Don't give her a key to your place. Tell her in no uncertain terms that you are being an adult and you love her for being a mother, but she is going to suffocate you if this behavior continues. You are not the a-hole for giving a fake number. You are protecting your interest. She obviously doesn't care enough about you to give you the space to grow into a functioning adult. And now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not calling my dad's new wife my stepmom? I am 25 years old. My parents have been divorced for 17 years. Neither of them ever dated or remarried until about a year ago when my dad started dating this woman. They got married over the summer, no wedding. My dad and this woman live on the other side of the country, so I had only met her twice prior to them getting married. Recently, I had a graduation party for finishing my master's. My dad came into town for it and brought his wife. At a party, I was introducing her to people as my dad's new wife, name, and thought nothing of it. However, his wife called me the next day. I didn't even have her number. She got it from my dad because, again, I have only met her twice and barely know her. Instead, she felt really hurt that I kept introducing her as my dad's new wife and not as my stepmom. I was shocked and basically said I'm sorry. It was good to see you yesterday and I appreciate you coming, but I don't think of you as my stepmom since I'm 25 and this was only the third time I've ever met you. Am I the a-hole for not calling a woman I barely know my stepmom? Now for the top comments of the post. Not the a-hole. She is your father's wife, not a maternal figure to you. Your introduction was in no way disrespectful. Maybe worth talking to your dad about boundaries and expectations in order to clear the air and make positions clear so that unknown resentment doesn't build up, but you are not even close to being an a-hole. Thanks. I did tell my dad when I talked to him later in the day, and he said he saw nothing wrong with what I said, but I don't think he talked to her about it. He is pretty non-confrontational, so I would probably need to bring it up again if I want to talk to her about it. It's good that he sees nothing wrong with it. You have an ally. It is probably best that he talks to her about what is reasonable or not in terms of expectations, no matter how much he hates confrontation. They're married, and confrontation is a fact of life sometimes. Not the a-hole. My stepson was over 16 when I married his dad, and most often calls me by my name or introduces me as his dad's wife. I don't think he means any offense by it, and I don't take any. We have a good family relationship, but not really a mother/child type relationship. Thanks. I definitely didn't mean any offense by either. It just did not occur to me to view her as any type of maternal figure due to my age and having had one mom only for 25 years. Not the a-hole. In my opinion, dad's wife is just fine since you've only met twice. I don't think dad's new wife is okay though. That new part sounds kinda critical, even though that's what she is. They got married a little over 1 month ago, so I thought it was appropriate and gave context since the people I was introducing her to, my friends, random relatives on my mom's side, etc., had no idea my dad had even been dating someone. And those are the stories for this video, folks. Leave a comment and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more content. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.